Hello, and thank you for joining me today for our session on how to scale customer support to adapt to unprecedented change. My name is Rebecca McKenzie. I'm on our Service Cloud product marketing team based in London and covering all of Europe. I'm also joined by Daniel. He's one of our principal solution engineers here at Salesforce. Kate, who's on my team as well in our product marketing team for Service Cloud. And lastly, I'm joined by Mark Orsborn, who's one of our product managers for Service Cloud for EMEA. And we have so much to cover today, so we're going to jump right in. I'm going to be taking you through what some of our customers have been sharing with us, what's really top of mind for service leaders during this time. Kate and Mark are going to do an interview, and Mark will be sharing what our strategy has been for Service Cloud and for Service Cloud Voice in order to keep creating innovation to help our customers innovate themselves. And lastly, Dan is going to be taking us through two really fantastic demos. So we have so much to share with you today. I'm very excited, so let's get started. Over the past few months, we've been interviewing thousands of our customers around the globe to really understand what's top of mind for service leaders today. And what we found out is there's really three key things that are top of mind. The first thing is that service leaders are thinking about their employees. They're thinking about how can they enable their employees to work from anywhere, whether that's in the contact center, whether that's at home, or a different location entirely. The second thing that's top of mind for them is how do they help businesses grow during these really uncertain times? And here, the service center is becoming increasingly important as businesses shift their strategy from new customer acquisition to growing through customer retention. That service experience becomes more and more critical. And lastly, service leaders are really focused on how do they adapt to this new digital world that they live in? How do they create digital customer service experiences? And that's one of the things we'll be really focusing on today, is this new digital imperative. Digital isn't an option for businesses anymore. If you want to be successful and you want to grow in these new times, you have to have a digital solution for your customers, and you have to have a digital customer service solution as well. Some great examples are companies like Adidas, who shifted all of their commerce to an e-commerce experience during the pandemic when they had to close all of their retail stores. Starbucks is a great example of how they utilized their app to keep their coffee shops open during the pandemic. It allowed customers to order ahead and pay via the app, so there was no face-to-face meeting of the baristas and customers. Customers could order and pick up their drinks right outside the shop. So a no-contact way to keep their business open during these incredibly challenging times. And of course, businesses are starting to meet the rise of digital communication. Even events like this, which would have normally been live, Salesforce has now adapted our customer experiences to be digital as well with our new Salesforce Live series. And businesses aren't just thinking about how do they create digital experiences for their customers. They're also thinking about how do they create the right digital experiences for their employees. And that's really where Service Cloud comes in. Service Cloud allows that service agent to have a full 360-degree view of a customer. Whether they're working from home or they're in the office, they still have access to that same customer view because it's all a cloud-based platform. And we can extend that service through channels like chat or WhatsApp, so customers can get service on the channel of their choice. And lastly, we just announced in our latest release this summer that we now have a complete voice offering, which allows you to take that voice channel and turn it digital with transcription. So you can apply all of that AI analytics that you're used to in Service Cloud to your voice channel as well. And to show us some of this in action, I'd like to welcome Dan, who's going to take us through a demo. Over to you, Dan.
In this demo, we're going to show you some of the functionalities of Service Cloud. We will start with the channel menu of the digital engagement. In this example, we're using a channel menu on the website. You can see all channels that are available to contact the contact center. We see Facebook, WhatsApp, WeChat, SMS, and many more. In the example, we're using the standard chat option. Of course, the first response will be done via a chatbot. The chatbot has access to all knowledge items. This question is regarding a refund, so the chatbot will give all related articles regarding refunds. There are many ways to use a chatbot. In this, we're using a menu-driven chatbot instead of NLP, but of course NLP is possible as well. If the customer has more questions, we also can transfer the interaction to one of the live agents. The live agent will have access to the history of the chatbot conversation. Let's switch to the console. As you can see, the chat interaction is being pushed into omnichannel. The agent will answer the interaction and then got full access to all information. Information regarding the customer, but also information regarding the interaction between the customer and the chatbot. So he or she is aware what the chatbot already did. There's also a component regarding knowledge. This is the same knowledge as the chatbot is using, but of course the agents got more access to other knowledge items as well. It's also possible to create a new case or new contact details. There are also many tools to support the agent during his interaction. One of the examples is quick text. Quick texts are predefined text messages that an agent can use to answer the customer. This will save a lot of time, because now he doesn't have to fill it in manually. He can use the quick text. If needed, he can change it before sending. This will speed up every conversation, because it can be used by other channels as well. There are many details regarding the interaction, so also good for marketing or for system administrators. You can also add flows in there. This is an example or a flow to identify if it's really Lauren Bailey. Thank you for watching this demo.
Thank you so much, Dan. Now let's take a look at how you can deliver a personalized service experience for your customers. The average customer uses 10 different channels, whether that's a channel like messaging through WhatsApp or a self-service portal or voice. And voice really is still that number one preferred channel for customers. And it's a great opportunity for you to provide that personal experience to customers that can be a struggle when everything is so digital. But the challenge with voice is that it's not a digital channel. And so often agents don't have that full view of the customer when they call in via voice. They have to toggle through different screens, and this slows down the whole case resolution process. And a slow customer service experience affects your bottom line, because that's not a good experience for your customers. And that's really why we created Service Cloud Voice. With Service Cloud Voice, you can change that voice channel into a digital channel with automated transcription. It allows you to apply all of that powerful Einstein AI capability to that conversation. So your service agents are equipped to deliver great customer service experience and allow them to quickly resolve cases. Now to show us this through a demo, I'm going to hand back over to Dan.
As you will see, Service Cloud Voice is now totally embedded within the Service Cloud console. So next to our other channels, you also can now receive phone calls in omnichannel. But there's much more what you can do now with Service Cloud Voice. One of the important things is that we can do self-service in the IVR. So next that we can recognize customers based on their CLI number, is that we also can see if there are any outstanding cases or any outstanding leads. So self-service is a big part of Service Cloud Voice as well. And if needed, we can transfer the interaction directly to one of the best agents. This based on customer information or based on skills or queues. When the call has been pushed into omnichannel, the agent can accept the interaction. The great thing is that reporting, historical and dashboarding are now possible, because all interactions are handled by Service Cloud. When you receive the interaction and you answer it, we've got some nice things on the console. The first thing is that we've got a component with the call control in there, so we can mute, transfer or disconnect the interaction. Also, what we see in this demo is that we have the contact details already available. It's automatically been linked to that contact. Also, we've got all details in there regarding is it inbound, outbound, the CLI number, duration, etc., etc. These are all components, so could be changed on the page as well. One of the great things that we've got with Service Cloud Voice is that we can do real-time transcribe. This will mean that we change the voice into text. That's great, because now we can use that text to do specific things in the console. You can trigger flows, you can trigger NBAs, etc. This is all been stored in the new object that we called voice, the voice object. In this example, we're going to use the voice-to-text functionalities, and based on specific words, we will trigger a next best action. So in this example, a customer is calling and says something like a telescope. So what we see on the right-hand corner is that we trigger the NBA that's related to a telescope. So next that we can trigger NBA is we also can trigger knowledge items. When we click a next best action, normally we'll open a flow. In this example, it's a screen flow. So now there's much more functionalities in Service Cloud Voice. Also, a supervisor or a team lead can see real-time what their agents are doing, what kind of interactions they're handling, or can change the status from a specific agent, let's say from chat to voice, or from voice to chat. In the next release, we're also supporting real-time transcribe functionalities for Omni Supervisor, so that he or she can watch real-time what their agents are saying.
Thank you so much, Dan. And now I'm so happy to welcome Kate and Mark, who are going to have a conversation about our strategy behind Service Cloud and Service Cloud Voice.
Great, thank you, Rebecca. I'm Kate Rogers, a Product Marketing Manager for Service Cloud Here. And hi, Mark, if you want to introduce yourself.
Sure, yeah, thanks, Kate. So my name is Mark Osborne. I'm a Senior Director for Service Cloud Product Management based in EMEA.
So we've seen what Customer 360 for Service can do, but it would be great to hear a little bit more about how the customer service is evolving with Service Cloud Voice. Could you tell us a bit about that?
So, in the world we're in now, everything's changed, but customers are still really expecting immediate answers across any channel, any time. And despite the growing number of channels out there, what we're finding is customers are still picking up the phone for all types of inquiries, from simple questions through to highly complex questions. Interestingly, many of them have already tried self-service or another channel before they pick the phone call up, so it's really, really imperative that with the phone we're able to deliver that fast and convenient service still. Over the last few years, within Service Cloud, we've been transforming the contact center with intelligent productivity tools for both our agents and our supervisors. But until recently, the phone's really been left out of that AI revolution. And the actual conversation between the customer and the agent has been disconnected from the console. So it's been purely, the agent listening to the call, but then having to type things into the screen. And the agent could only really then use those intelligent productivity tools as far as they could personally transcribe what they were listening to. And that's what I call the human API. And the human API is where we tend to see some errors and where we miss information often. And that leads to inefficiency and lost productivity. So just as the phone's been disconnected from CRM, so too have contact center leaders been challenged to integrate data across many channels to get the complete picture of the customer, and that's what you obviously referred to as the Customer 360. So with data living across all those channels and silos, it is challenging to get and to achieve the goals, like closing cases quickly, keeping costs down, maintaining high CSAT, with this disconnected contact center that we've lived with in the past. So it's been important to see how we could change that, and that's why we built Service Cloud Voice. So Service Cloud Voice really is driving forward this new world of intelligent telephony, and it's natively integrated directly within Salesforce, within the Service Cloud console. And in the first iteration that we just launched in July, it's powered with our global strategic partner, Amazon Connect. So with Service Cloud Voice, what we're doing, just in a nutshell, is integrating telephony and directly within to Service Cloud for the first time ever. We're routing calls right alongside all the other digital channels, and we're integrating directly within the Customer 360 because that's where the context of our customers is. So what this is doing then is through a process we call transcription, is really taking that voice signal, making it digital, and with the digital signal we can turn voice to text, and with text we can drive the automation and intelligence and all the investment that we made in Einstein for the past few years to really boost that productivity. And just give you one example that we're seeing really to be very, very powerful is the use of next best action. So during a call, when the call is actually unfolding, using the next best action to present to the agent an offer maybe that they could make to the customer. It could be based on a churn indicator, it could be based on a propensity to buy indicator, and putting that in front of the agent in that moment when it matters can really drive amazing results. And there's lots more we'll be working on in the future, but just in summary, this has never been done before. Bringing telephony as a digital channel, bringing that digital conversation along with CRM all in one place in real time for the agent and supervisor, we think it's game changing.
Great, thank you. And we've heard from many of our customers that digital transformation has gone from being a priority to an imperative during this pandemic. What are some of the other challenges that organisations are facing at the moment?
Yeah, there's a lot going on, isn't there? I think one thing we're seeing is the questions around how to get back to work, when to get back to work, what does work look like now? How do we rapidly reconfigure for this new world of work from anywhere with a distributed workforce? And again, this is where cloud and technology can really play its part, and that's why I think we've seen, as they say, COVID at the board table being the big change, and why digital transformation has accelerated every change around it. So better employee applications is a question we're being asked often. How do we make sure that teams have access to what they need, have the ability to collaborate? We're all working from home. I'm working in my cabin here. Having access to what I need, when I need it, where I need it is imperative. And the other one that we're hearing often is, especially in this world of distributed workforce, how do I make sure that my team are mentally, have good mental health? How do I make sure they're resilient? How do I make sure that they are happy in their work? So there's lots, I think, that leaders are thinking through right now, and not just digital, but also about the people we work with. They're human questions.
And then finally, what's next on the roadmap for Service Cloud Voice?
Yeah, I mean, we just launched obviously in July, so there's a lot ahead of us. And one of the beauties of Salesforce is we have 3 releases a year, so we're always innovating. And because we've built voice directly into Salesforce, and obviously it's managed and maintained and looked after by us, then it obviously respects that release cycle. So there's a constant stream of things happening. I mean, the first big thing we'll see next year is, as well as the product that we have GA today, which is powered by Amazon Connect, we're also building a new set of APIs to allow all the other telephony vendors out there to code against them and build applications so that ultimately customers have what we call choice with voice. So for us in the end, where that telephony signal comes from doesn't matter. Our goal is really to enhance and empower that desktop experience for the agents and supervisors. And we've got loads of plans around more intelligence. So one example, or 2 examples actually, the first one is case wrap-up. So today we can classify a case when it's created and route it intelligently. A big area of efficiency saving is when we close a case, actually setting the disposition. So we're working on that next as well. And another key feature is knowledge article recommendations. So as an agent's on a call, instead of them having to type in a search box and figure out what the problem might be, we can obviously use the real-time transcription to then surface those knowledge articles to really help the agent and in that conversation, in that moment when they're trying to figure out what the problem might be and the solution, and push that solution out to the customer on any channel of their choice. Lots happening there. Plus around supervisors, flagging calls intelligently. So instead of a post-call compliance as we see today, where people have to go into little rooms and put headsets on and listen to calls quite often, or plug in a headset wherever, giving the ability to flag to a supervisor where calls are going wrong, flashing them maybe on the screen, allowing them to then watch the conversation unfold rather than have to listen into it, so that they can provide real-time coaching again in that moment when it's needed by the agent. So lots and lots ahead for Service Cloud Voice. Very, very exciting times for us.
Great, thank you, Mark. And now back to you, Rebecca.
Thank you, Kate and Mark. It was so great to have that in-depth look behind our strategy for Service Cloud and for Service Cloud Voice. Now, we have tons of resources to help you get started. Check out our website where you can have a full view of our Service Cloud portfolio, where we're now able to provide you with a complete service experience. Check out our blog where we've had customer trailblazers share how they've been scaling their service during these changing times. And lastly, you can get started and learn more with Trailhead. Trailhead is our free online learning platform where you can actually get hands-on with our product as well as learn tips and tricks from service experts. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure to have you with me, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your experience at Salesforce Live. Thank you.